All right, folks, so Praedial Larceny is not new to Jamaica, but are things getting better or worse? Or are we at the same place we've been at for the past several decades? President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Mr. Lenworth Fulton, zooms in with us this morning to talk to us about that. Morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you.
It's our pleasure, sir. So let me ask you, things getting better, worse, or we're at the same?
I say it's getting worse because there are more people involved in the Praedial Larceny now than a decade ago. So it's really a problem that we are facing, a social problem that we have to solve.
Mr. Fulton, as I said, I've been hearing about this from my house, and me's an old man, you know. So why can't we stop it? Is it the farmers not taking care of their produce and their animals and stuff, or are we just really so thief that no matter what you do, them going to come and take your stuff?
Well, it's both. Most farmers have little confidence in reporting Praedial Larceny. So when you go through the records, it is not registered as a major crime because the reporting is low, though the activity is high. So that's one of the problems. And the other problem is they have not seen the level of urgency to it to make them report it. But there has been a lot of work that is being done today, primarily by the Ministry of Agriculture through the Praedial Larceny unit. And so we are hopeful. But for example, when a crime is a high-profile crime, you will hear it every day on the news that the arrest has been made and the court convict or whatever the court does, you will hear that. You will hear when the arrest is made in Praedial Larceny, but nothing more. And this does not give the farmers confidence that that things are being looked after in their interest.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, with that said, though, Mr. Fulton, good morning.
Morning.
What's the typical experience, though, of a farmer who, experiences loss through Praedial Larceny? Is it just, as you say, that there's a report to the police, and then what are the next steps?
Well, what should happen, and what we are urging farmers to do, is to report every incident, request a receipt from the officer that takes the statement, follow up a week after to see the progress of the investigation. And if you're not satisfied, you ask for a senior officer or call the Praedial Larceny unit at the Ministry of Agriculture or call the Jamaica Agricultural Society. Or you can email the Jamaica Agricultural Society your concern at the JAS President Office at gmail.com. And we will follow up on your behalf in concert with the Ministry of Agriculture. But we need a follow-up, just like how you would follow up with major crimes. The farmers need to follow up because it's a situation where they are killing them. They are killing many farmers, especially goat and cattle farmers. They have been. And one of the things that we request is that there are greater investigative effort to be made by the police to go to the end users. If you're buying curry goat every day at a certain spot, that's a spot to investigate where do you get the goat from. A simple put. So we need to do more work, go to the end users and see where they get the product. There is a agricultural JAS receipt book that every farmer is supposed to have by law. So you must have a receipt for the product that you're selling.
Yeah. Now, you've spoken about the responsibility on the end users. You've spoken about the responsibility on the police to continue investigating and also the farmers. But let's talk a little more about the farmers. Are there more things that farmers can do to secure their properties, their livestock?
Yes, there are things they can make the place. Some of the places that they farm, some of the farms could be made more secure. But this means added investment. They can use cameras. And a very important thing, the Jamaica Agricultural Society have branches in communities. These branches with the RADA and the 4-H and all the entities in agriculture need to meet and discuss their community development, how they use their community to be safer. Yeah. They need to look on people who are strange coming on in the area, and farmers ought not to go to their farm alone to sell animals. Get somebody with you, because just recently they have killed 2 in the Duncans area of Trelawney. Those are cattle farmers. 2 men were looking cattle to buy in the Runaway Bay, Discovery Bay area, and they killed them.
Wow.
So it's not a matter of robbing them alone. They kill them.
Yeah.
So there are more that we can do as farmers by having community groups through which we work to protect ourselves.
Yeah. Can I add to that though? What about like RFID chips on livestock, for example? So at least if they're stolen, then you can locate them wherever they are, similar to what's on vehicles and so on, but obviously for livestock.
I do agree with that. There have been branding on the livestock for years, but the chip is a scientific method that could be traced. But remember, we are dealing with small farmers, many of whom have 5, 6 head of cattle, and the investment to do that might not attract them. Plus, we would have to have the lab work and the lab capabilities to follow through on the traceability and the scientific processes that these need. So I support any scientific method, but the community effort is still paramount, because you still need the community effort to educate these farmers. You know that in terms of literacy rate and all of that, most of our farmers are not that up there, I must say, without any embarrassment. But if you have a country with 86% literacy, it means that 14%, unfortunately, would weigh heavily in our agricultural sector than would it be in other businesses and so on. So we do have a problem there, and to educate our people through the churches, through the RADA, through the JAS, and through other community methods. So we have to learn a way to send our messages, even at rum bars where they gather to play dominoes and so on. So we have to go more granular in getting the message to them. Yeah. And this was the case many years ago, and we have to go back to that method now.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, sir. God bless you and your family. Stay safe.
Thank you, too.
Thank you, sir. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Mr. Lenworth Fulton. You know, people just leave the people and things. I mean, yeah, Garth's question is quite relevant, that you need to protect yourself, look after yourself. But if it's not your one, it's not your one. So even if you say you can't walk in and take the stuff, if it's not yours, leave it alone. Yep.